Welcome back. So now that we have a basic idea how the Power Pivot works, we can jump to start our profit and loss statement, which is actually going to be the easiest statement that we are going to prepare. And it is so easy that we will not have to write an index code for that. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to, create a sheet with all that pivot table options. And for that, either I can go back to my data model and add a Power Pivot from there, or the easiest option is I will simply copy and paste this sheet. And to copy and paste this sheet, which already has this pivot table, simply press the Control key on your keyboard and click here on this sheet name, and now drag it towards the right. And now you will notice that there's a plus sign here, right? Now you can leave your mouse and you can see that we have a new sheet here. So first of all, I'm going to rename this new sheet as my P&L. And on this new sheet, I want to remove everything that has already been added, and I want to start right from scratch so that we can discuss everything once again. So I will remove all the fields from here, and now you can see that we have our pivot table, which has no data at all. Okay, so now as we talk about our profit and loss, we know that the profit and loss statement will have the values. So what I will do is that I will go to this GL table here, and I will drag down the amount from here into this values field here. So amount will always be going to the values field, and it will never go to other fields there. Okay, so now after that, after the amount, we want to split this amount into 3 years. So I really want the one figure that is compiling together all the 3 years of data is not useful for us. So in the columns, I want 3 columns. One should be for 2018 and for 19 and 2020. So I will go here in the calendar, and you can actually drag down the year from here, right? But if you will simply drag down the year, now you will not have the hierarchy choice. If you want to split your 2018 by quarter or by month, you will not have the option here, because this field here is a static year field. So rather than bringing this static year field from here, I will drag it out. I will remove this field from here, and I will drag down this date field from here. And once you do that, just give it a second, and once you do that, you will notice that your system Power Pivot has actually created a complete hierarchy, and that hierarchy is going as year, then quarter, and then month, and then date. Now the benefit of that will be, if I like to split any of the years, for example, if I like to split 2018, you can see I can split the value into 4 quarters. And if I like to split my quarter 1, you can see that I have splitted my quarter 1 into Jan, Feb, and March. So by creating this kind of hierarchy, you will be able to split the values very quickly. And you can see that we only drag down this field of date into the columns, and Power Pivot has automatically created this hierarchy for me. So I will now go back to my original view here, back to 2018, 19, and 20. And now I will work with the rows, but before I do that, I just want to do small formatting on the field here as well. So I will just go to the sum of amount option here, and I will go to value field settings. And in that value field settings, you can see that the sum has already been applied, which is okay for me. And I just need to work on number format. So I will say, please make these as numbers, and there should not be any decimal, and the values should be comma separated. Alright, so please press OK, and now you can see that your numbers are properly formatted. Now what I want to do is that I want to split these row level field into multiple fields. So I don't want to see all the data compiled together into one row. Rather, I want to split them by account, sub account, class, subclass. And you can see that this information is available in our chart of accounts. So we can split our data by class, subclass, subclass 2, account, and subaccount. So I'm going to bring in all of them. Let me bring in the class, and let me bring in the subclass for a moment, only 2 for this particular moment. And you can see now that my data is now available here by row, and Excel has also expanded them by subclass as well. So I can hide the subclasses for this particular moment, and we will only show them off in our reports as we like. But before that, before we move to that stage, we can notice one thing, and that is we have some values here which belong to profit and loss statement, which should be trading account, operating account, and then non-operating, and then intra syntax. but we are also seeing the values which actually belong to the balance sheet. So for example, assets and liabilities and owner's equity, these values should be going to balance sheet. These should not be coming to the profit and loss account. Similarly, this adjusting value, I told you, this is not for the balance sheet and this is not even for the P&L. This should not be represented here at all. So how do we fix that? And that is where this filter option comes in. So now I will be applying a filter that please only bring in the values which belong to the P&L. And such kind of differentiation in my data was available in the report level. So in my chart of accounts, there was a report field where for each account we were telling our system that if this account belongs to the balance sheet or profit and loss account, or if this one is an adjusting account. So I will bring this report option here into the filter, and now you can see we have a report option added here. So I will click on the drop down and I will expand this, and I will say please make it profit and loss account only, and please press OK. And now you can see we only have the values here that belong to profit and loss account. These are trading, operating, non-operating and tax. If you like to expand that, we can do that as well. So you can see if I click here on the plus sign, we have sales and cost of sales. If I click here on the plus sign, we have depreciation and amortization and operating expenses for our operating account. And if I click on non-operating, you can see we have the option of dividend income, exchange gain and loss, gain loss on sale of asset, and finally interest income. And finally we have interest and tax as well. So you can see this is all the data that we usually see in our profit and loss statement. But one problem that you must be noticing is the structure. So our P&L is structured in a way that trading account appears on the top. I mean, sales and cost of sales appear on the top. That is followed by the operating account and the non-operating and then interest. So we need to fix this sorting option, and this is going to be a little tricky, but at the end this is possible. And for that I will simply click here on this trading account, and I will move my mouse, and once you start noticing these 4 arrow signs on your on the cursor of your mouse, I will click and I will bring it at the top. So you can see I have successfully moved my trading account from the bottom to the top. We are going to do that again for the operating account, so please watch closely. And once you start noticing there is a arrow icon on our operating account, I will click here and I will bring it on the second number, and you can see we have operating account on the second. And then I want to do the same for non-operating, so we have a non-operating at the third, and finally we have interest and tax. Now within the trading account, sales come on the top, and then we have cost of sales option. So I will again do the same thing within the trading account. So I will click here and then drag it towards the top, and now we have sales followed by the cost of sales. Then we have operating account, and in the operating account we should have the operating expenses on the top. So I will click here and I will bring it on the top. And finally we have depreciation and amortization. Then we have non-operating, and actually I am fine with this kind of order within non-operating. And then we have interest and tax. So then you can see we have all of our P&L that is organized properly. So what I want to do next is that I want to bring in the further information in our P&L. So we have our data, our operating expenses are further expanded in the P&L. So we want to see the details. So what I will do is that first of all I will zoom out so that we have more space on our screen. Now you will definitely agree with me that in the P&L we present more details for operating expenses. So we even add the account level information. So I really want to do that now, and for that I will simply bring in some other fields as well into my rows, and that should be subclass 2, account and sub account. So let us do that one by one. Subclass 2, and then we have account, and then we have sub account as well. Okay, so now you can see that your P&L has all been expanded to all of these different rows, and all you got to do now is, if you like to present only one line for this depreciation and amortization, you can click here and now you have only one line. And if you want to expand that, you can click back and you have the complete information on amortization and depreciation. Similarly, if you like to present only administration at the top level, you can shrink it back, and you can do the same for marketing and same for sales and distribution. But if you like to present them on a little more detail, you can do this as well. So this is a little slow process, but that is actually a one-time effort. Once you have done that, that report will be saved for you. And similarly, let us expand the marketing as well. And finally, let us do that for sales and distribution as well. And since there is only one account there, so I think we should not be doing that. So I will only be presenting the top level line here. So now I think you can see that our P&L is now in proper shape. Now in the P&L, usually we also present the values of gross profit and net profit and operating profit. So let us do that, and that is going to be, a little limited option available here, but we can do that to some extent. So first of all, let us go to this design tab here, and one thing that you can do is you can add subtotals and grand totals. Now first of all, let us talk about grand totals. If I click here, you can see we can add the grand total for rows, for columns, and for both of the options. So I will say I want to see the grand total for years, right? So since years are in columns, I will say on for columns only. And once you do that, you can see that Excel has added the grand total here. And now the thing is, since all of our income was positive and all of our expenses were in negative, this grand total is basically, presenting the sum of all the income and expenses, and that is going to be net profit. So our net profit is, correctly presented here with the word of grand total. And other option that we can use is the subtotal, and with subtotals you can see that we have the option of subtotals to be presented at the bottom or at the top. So if I present them at the bottom, it will add a new line here, which is quite a little it is a little bit spoiling my presentation. So I will prefer to add the subtotals rather at the top of the group. And if I do that, you can see here that we have a subtotal for the trading account, and that the subtotal of the trading account is going to be your gross profit. So now you can see your gross profit here as well, and you have your net profit that we have already added. Now if you look at these values, now this is not the operating profit. This is basically the subtotal of that particular group, and this group was operating account. So this value, that is 1.642, that is only the sum of all the operating expenses. So we will say this is the total of the operating expenses. Similarly, this value here is only the sum of depreciation and amortization. This value of 36,477, that is sum of all the non-operating income and expenses. This value is the sum of interest and tax. And finally we have grand total. So you can see we could find our gross profit and we could calculate our net profit as well, but we could not calculate our operating profit and PBIT here in this matrix. Well, it is possible with the simple pivot table, but in the Power Pivot that option is not available. But never mind, we can calculate that value separately and present on our dashboard, and that is something that we will be doing later on.